is on a crusade to change things.
So you want to see Billy Joel up front, dead center, as close as you can get. So close that he'll know, you know, all the words. Well, that's exactly how music student John Carboy felt recently, when he learned that his idol, Billy Joel, was going to play to a hometown crowd at Madison Square Garden in New York. The 19-year-old's dorm room in Boston is a sort of shrine to the piano man. So you can understand how determined he was to do whatever he could to buy a ticket that would put him front row center on the big night.
It means a lot to see him in concert. That's why I want to have a good seat when I see him.
In fact, it meant so much to him that John took a 6-hour bus ride to New York, then stood in line, in the dark, in the cold, ready to claim his prize seat when tickets went on sale the next morning.
I've been here since 3 a.m. because I figured if I got here early, I could get good seats, you know.
John Carboy was a man with a plan, and it seemed to be a good one. He was the first person to arrive at that ticket outlet in New York, the very first in line. So all he had to do to guarantee himself a great seat was wait until the box office opened at 9 a.m., right? Well, not exactly, because there was a great deal that John didn't know about the ticket business. At least not yet.
How'd you make out?
While John Carboy stands in that line in New York, not far away, in New Jersey, Tom Patania also has his heart set on Billy Joel tickets.
All right, they're probably going to add the Friday next, so just tell them to check back.
Tom and his brother Lance are ticket brokers.
You called them?
And what they do in the crucial first few minutes after ticket sales begin can have a dramatic impact on true fans like John.
You holding all the money?
It's now about 8:30 a.m., and though John has waited in the cold all night, he's still oblivious to the powerful forces about to compete for his prime ticket.
Billy Joel tickets start at $67.15, go up from there.
I want a lot of people on it.
Yeah, stage is here, he'll be facing out this way.
Because the ticket brokers have plotted a sophisticated strategy of their own to monopolize a vast block of Billy Joel tickets.
They want to spend over 200 tickets.
Tickets with a face value of $38.50 that they'll eventually resell for up to $400. And because there's no federal law governing the resale of tickets, and the laws that do exist vary from state to state, brokers can charge clients in New Jersey whatever the market will bear for a concert in New York.
We're talking about Billy Joel. Obviously, you know, we're going to get as many tickets as we can acquire because we know it's going to sell out. Tom speaking.
But wait a minute. What about the 8 ticket per customer limit that Billy Joel and other performers put on their concerts precisely to protect unsuspecting fans like John?
I've watched this happen for years and years and years.
Even a big star like Billy Joel knows that his best intentions and that so-called limit on the number of tickets any one person can buy are just a minor inconvenience to those ticket brokers.
You have professional ticket buyers. They pay people to stand in line, even ahead of the die-hard fans who want to wait all night.
Are you holding all the money?
In the business, they call them diggers. And brokers like Tom and Lance employ a lot of them, each with orders to gobble up their maximum of 8 tickets.
This morning I was out and I gave my crew leader stacks of money. On a show like this, we could dish out $40,000.
Though John doesn't know it, those diggers could be almost anyone around him in that ticket line.
There's people that are home with children that will go wait online if they don't have nothing to do. College students that are off during that particular time in the morning. Some people even take off for work if the payday's big enough.
How many people in all for that show do you estimate you had buying tickets for you?
Probably a couple hundred people.
Zone I, 26.
And every good ticket they bring in is one less ticket John will have a shot to get. Now keep in mind, we're only telling you what that one broker was doing on the morning that John was standing in line. But here in the New York area alone, as many as 150 ticket brokers had their own troops stationed at those outlets waiting for tickets to go on sale. And because seats were also available by telephone, nationwide, across the country, up to 1,000 brokers may have paid their own operatives to snatch up those Billy Joel tickets. And John didn't know about them either.
It's shot, nothing but net. All right, Matthew, give it a shot.
Here in Illinois, Scott Muir coaches his son's basketball team and sells farm equipment. But on the side, he also buys tickets for a Chicago ticket broker. Paid a commission for everyone he gets. The better the seat, the bigger the check.
It's very little time spent, and you can make good money.
Armed with a power speed device that can dial a telephone number every 2.4 seconds, Scott's poised to make things even harder for poor John, 1,000 miles away.
Is Billy Joel?
What the ticket broker suggests you do is get as many credit cards as you can and as many different addresses as you can.
With slight variations in his and his wife's names on several different credit cards, each one could allow Scott to buy additional sets of tickets and beat that 8-ticket-per-person limit the Ticketmaster enforces. And that's not all. The broker also supplies buyers with unlisted Ticketmaster phone numbers.
The general public gets one number, and we've got about 40 different numbers.
These enable Scott to avoid the busy signal that average fans like John are almost certain to get.
95.5 PLJ. Here's the deal on Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden, December.
And there's something else that John doesn't know.
You'll call me 1-800-321-WGL.
Exactly how many of the best seats in the house never even reach the box office.
You get the free tickets. No standing in line, no busy Ticketmaster signal. Good luck.
PLJ, we already...
But it's not just all those tickets held back for radio promotions. Billy Joel and his band, of course, have seats set aside for their friends and family and business associates, as do their promoter and their record company and the arena. Music industry insiders have access to seats, as do members of the media, even some people who work for Dateline NBC. And they're all tickets that are never made available to the public, that never go on sale in the first place. In fact, of the nearly 20,000 seats at Madison Square Garden for Billy Joel's first big show, nearly 3,000 of the best will go to those insiders, some paid for, some free. But either way, they won't go to John. So it's an especially good thing that John's first in line, isn't it? Sure it is. Except the tickets are being sold simultaneously by 600 other ticket outlets and telephone operators, which means for all practical purposes, hundreds of other people just like John may be convinced that they, too, are first in line.
So I don't want to harass you guys too much, but if we can make the line go...
And even though John thinks at least he's first in this line...
Anyone with bracelets?
There is yet one more thing he doesn't know.
99.
Ticketmaster often uses a kind of lottery system, handing out numbered bracelets to customers the day before, then randomly selecting who goes first when tickets go on sale the next morning.
Any 50s?
It's intended to keep scalpers and brokers from always being first in line, again, to protect fans like John. He says he called ahead and asked if he needed a wristband, and that someone at Ticketmaster told him not to worry about it.
Figured it was first come, first serve. You know, get here early, you get good seats.
1, 2, 3.
But all that matters here is whether you've got a numbered bracelet or not. Hundreds of diggers and veteran concert goers do. Poor John doesn't.
320.25.
It's 9 o'clock. Billy Joel tickets finally go on sale.
Next, please.
So what'd you get?
Almost immediately, the brokers get word from the diggers in the field.
All right, now those are mine.
Okay, go with 20 on that one.
At least 100 if you did it right.
Hundreds of tickets are rolling in.
If I get my additional 200 tomorrow, we'll be up to 900 seats.
Within minutes in Illinois, Scott Muir and his speed dialer get through to
I'd
Ticketmaster.
like to get tickets for Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden.
4, 5, 6.
Meanwhile, at the ticket outlet in New York, where he spent a sleepless night in the cold, all poor John can do is wait.
It's not fair that, like, the true fans have to, like, get screwed all the time to get a good seat.
Those should be $125 each.
Every minute he stands here, thousands of seats are going to someone else.
Thank you.
In fact, after just 9 minutes, the opening night concert sells out.
I'm sorry. There aren't any left.
John never did make it to the ticket window. The only reason he got a ticket at all was that some kind soul with an extra seat heard him tell his sad story to us. But none of that will get John much sympathy from the brokers.
The tickets are going to sell out whether a broker buys them or not.
But is not the ultimate result of that tickets that have a face value of $38.50 get put on the market for, in some cases, up to $400?
You do have an option. You do not have to go through a ticket broker. You can do it yourself. And many people try and do it themselves. They go and they attempt to buy it, and either one of two things happen. They either got upper tier seats, and they'll call us and trade us those tickets for better tickets, okay? Or they got shut out altogether and need tickets.
Did anybody here actually pay $38.50 for a ticket? I'm tired of being part of the ripoff of it all.
Though he is one of the most successful live acts in rock and roll history, Billy Joel says ticket scalpers and brokers are a big reason that this may have been his last tour.
So who's getting ripped off here? Is it the fans? Is it the artist? Is it both of you?
The brokers that drive the prices up are ripping me off because I'm not getting the money, and they're ripping off the customer because the customer wants the ticket, and they know that the market will bear a certain price.
So if artists like Joel and fans like John agree that neither the ticket limit nor wristbands have put a dent in the broker's business, we wondered if there's anything more that Ticketmaster could do, like simply refusing to sell tickets to suspected brokers and their diggers in the first place.
The biggest issue is the policing of it. Who is actually going to go after the brokers and say, you're charging too much?
Ticketmaster spokesperson Marla Hoykowitz says policing ticket lines is not the company's job. In fact, she says, refusing to sell tickets to suspected brokers would be against the law.
You can't discriminate because you think somebody is a broker. You can only sell them the ticket limit, just like every other person.
So if you know someone's a broker or suspect they are, you can't say, not you, we don't want to sell.
Right. There's nothing in place that we can look at somebody's name when we're selling them over the phone, or we can look at them at an outlet and say, we think you're a broker, we can't sell it to you.
And even though Scott Muir was able to buy tickets just when they went on sale, he says by using his special inside telephone numbers, Ticketmaster insists Scott really had no special access at all.
If you're dialing that number and everybody else is dialing the main one, is that going to give you an advantage?
Absolutely not. It's going into the same operators and into that same pool of lines.
So where does all of this leave someone like John Carboy? Though he had waited in line for hours for a good seat, on the big night at Madison Square Garden, he would climb up and up and up until he could climb no more. But he would still have one final chance to get that great seat, thanks to Billy Joel himself.
I decided we're not going to put these front rows on sale, first couple of rows. We're going to hold those tickets. The road crew fans out and gives the tickets to the kids who have bad seats.
We got lucky seats from our friend Billy.
Thank you, man. Those are the real fans, the kids all the way in the back, who could never get access to those tickets because they usually scalp. Nothing personal, it's just a bunch of fat cats in the front make for a bad show.
Actually, once again, poor John was not one of the lucky ones, though he would ultimately get his own great seat up front and dead center for another show.
You have Billy Joel tickets?
Thanks to a ticket broker and $400 from his college fund.
John Carboy said it was well worth the money he paid to a broker to see his idol up close, and he'd do it again if he had to. As for Billy Joel, he's no longer touring and says for now he's concentrating on classical music. And ticket broker Tom Patania still insists he provides a service to people who want good seats but don't have time to stand in ticket lines.